Okay, so I know I said that I would not do an extra game review until the whole thing was over, but fuck it. When I read this chapter, being chapter 2, I'm like, I gotta talk about it. I have to talk about it. I got no friends that like Kuroko, so that's not true, but they're all online friends, so whatever. I'm gonna do a brief overview of chapter 1, because there's not too much to talk about there, but there's quite a bit about chapter 2 that I want to get off my chest, I guess. So, the first chapter, we introduced our villain, which is the Jabberwocks. Obvious reference to Alice in Wonderland, and they're from America, which is, America is considered the greatest at basketball by far, and for obvious reasons. We honestly put the most stock in our basketball, so it makes sense. And but at the same time, we have in Kuroko no Basket, we have the Kiseki no Sedai, the generation of miracles, who are just so unbelievable. And we have a lot of really good players too, like the senpai that go up against basically the third years who are going up against the Jabberwocks who get crushed, absolutely crushed. And on top of that, they're all assholes too. Thank you, Fujimaki, for making Americans look like assholes. Great. Yeah, I do have a problem with that, but I mean, I can kind of look past nationalism and just be like, all right, I understand because I understand why Fujimaki's doing what he is. I don't think it's necessarily a xenophobic thing. I think it's more of the fact that it's like it has to be America because America is the most known for basketball because one created the sport, two we have the best basketball team like by far, especially when it comes to the Olympics. Oh my gosh, we have the best basketball teams. That's just how it is. And number two, there had to be a villain that would make all the Generation of Miracles come back together and willingly. I guess I'm going to use the word fight on the same team again, even though they're now enemies. Now they're coming back as the Generation of Miracles, including Kuroko. Uh, so I really like that. I really do. It's the one thing I really wanted to see more than anything was the Generation of Miracles on the same team again in the present, not in the flashback. Because as we know in the flashback arc, they were together, but we haven't seen them with their newfound personalities and developed characters on the same team. And now we finally get it in extra game. So, but there had to be a specific reason, like a good, solid reason why they would come back, not just fuck it, let's just be on the same team. Like I can understand in nationals, but that would have taken more than just this extra game thing. Which honestly, I would have rather Fujimaki have done that if he had just gone to a nationals, and just kept the main manga going and not make it shit like the last match, parts of the last match. So yeah, so the Jabberwocks were basically the perfect villain to get them going. And the white guy, the one white dude, has this awful habit of calling everybody monkeys from Japan. Like, really? I don't know. Although, do they like is that indicative of a Japanese or Asian insult? Because I always heard that as a black person insult. I mean, he's surrounded by black dudes. I don't know. Not that I'm saying that black people are monkeys, obviously, but you know, I'm just saying. But he was like calm and collected in chapter 1, and but then all of a sudden he goes nuts after he after they beat the Japanese team of the third years and the second years. I think there were all some second years in there. I can't remember who was all in there. I know that Imayoshi was in there. Can't remember everybody. It's been a while. Then he just goes nuts and just goes on this long ass tangent. And then Rico's father, I can't remember his name at the moment, but he basically challenges them to a rematch, but this time using the Generation of Miracles. Which brings us to Chapter 2. So in Chapter 2, oh boy, this chapter was amazing for many reasons. The first reason was, we start to see them bond a little bit in practice. A little bit of Generation Miracles practicing, and as well as Kagami with and they also brought in Hyuga, Wakamatsu, and Tako, which was cool. Those three are pretty solid. In my opinion, Wakamatsu is probably the least effective of them, even though he's, Wakamatsu from Toho, he's very good. But I think Hyuga is more effective because he's got a really good that barrier jumper, and obviously he's just great at 3-point shooter when he's on his game. And Tako's Hawkeye is very helpful in general, and of course he has the combination with Midorima if he needs it, where he passes it up and Midorima shoots it out of the air, But there's that, and basically they start to go over the footage, and they talk about, I think his name is Silver, and this kind of was really. They said that he has more agility than Aomine, and more jumping power than Kagami, and more strength than Murasaki Bara. I find that hard to believe. I don't think that's going to be true. I think Aomine is going to be faster. I think Murasaki Bara is going to have more power, and I think Kagami will ultimately have more jumping power. Just saying. And then they talked about the captain a little bit and shit like that. But really importantly, when they mentioned everything about Aomine, he smiles and he's like, this is a freaking challenge. I can't wait. And then it's noted from what's her name, Momoe, who was also brought in. Momoe and Rico are the manager and assistant manager respectively. And she's like, yeah. She notes that he is he's at his best when he has a challenge like that. When he's the challenger, basically. So that's going to be awesome. But Murasaki Bara is going to be the one covering him, obviously, because they're the centers. And so they practice, and a couple days go by. And the night before, we have frickin' Kuroko going with Riko's father. And they kick him. They fucking kick Kuroko. I was like, yo, you sons of bitches. You fucking assholes. And then Kagami steps in. And you have frickin' Generation Miracles. You have the team. And they're about to fight, and then frickin' Akashi Seijiro steps in like, you frickin' scum. I think he says silence, you scum. I'm gonna look that up now while I'm talking. I'm like, fucking Akashi Seijiro. Oh, that was so sick. Let's see. But yeah, Akashi, he stops everything, saying, you'd rather just settle this in a basketball match, right? Right, Kuroko? And he's, yeah, please. There's no reason to fight. And, yeah, he says, be quiet, scum. You are the ones who should be prepared to wash your necks. Tomorrow will make you lick the ground as you crawl away. Yo. when Akashi's a villain, sometimes he can be a dick, but when he's on the good side, obviously good is point of view, but from our perspective, they're the good guys, the Generation Miracles, because they're beating down an asshole team. When he's on the good side, oh my gosh, dude, that's something else. And then, so the game actually, it comes. They're playing outside, which I think is interesting. I think they're playing in the same spot. And their team name is the Vorpal Swords, which is another reference to Alice in Wonderland. Pretty sure it was the Vorpal Sword that destroyed the Jabberwock. Jabberwocky, actually, but I mean, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. And oh my gosh, so the starters, Kagami is actually not a starter, which I'm like, interesting. I'm glad they did that. It's actually the the Generation Miracles from Teiko, minus Kuroko, because Kuroko wasn't a starter in Teiko. So I liked how they did that. And it makes sense because Aomine is more suited than Kagami as a power forward in general. The only reason why Kagami would be even close to being the right, like, better than Kagami is, or than Aomine is, I don't know, Zone 2 or whatever, which he can't use here. But anyway, they start off where Murasaki Bara wins the tip off, and jump ball, and immediately goes to Akashi, who goes straight to Aomine, who dunks it in. I was going nuts here, especially because Aomine was the one that scored the first points. Because he's my boy right there. That's my favorite character is Aomine. And it got from Murasaki Bara straight to Akashi, straight with a perfect pass to Aomine Daiki. We just slammed a jamma, slammed it right in. Oh man, and then and Elmine's like, I can't understand English, idiot, but didn't we say it already? We'll make you lick the ground as you crawl away. And that's the chapter. And, this chapter was amazing. I said it before, but I'm saying it again. This chapter was amazing for many reasons. The Generation of Miracles are, in my opinion, the best characters, including Kuroko, of course. Aomine, in my opinion, is the best. And then you have, then like Kuroko and Midorima are pretty much next. And then you have people like, Kisei Murasaki Bara, Akashi became pretty good by the end. And then you have people like Hyuga and Kiyoshi and some of the others that I like. But predominantly the Generation of Miracles pretty much dominate, in my opinion, the best characters. And so the fact that they're all together on the same team again with the new, with their new dynamics, their new personalities, I think it's great. And of course, Hyuga and Tako I really like a lot. Momoe and Riko are together. They're on the same team. It's just a dream match, against, a villain, which, yes, is American and may look racist or xenophobic at first, but honestly, I understand why it had to be American and they had to be villains. And so I'm going to look past my nationalism there. I do take pride in my country, but on some level, but I do understand what's going on here. It's not just a hate thing, but that's going to be it, I guess. Fuck. The reason why I didn't want to do it was because it's like a bi-monthly thing. So, like, next chapter will be out in May. So, I don't know. I don't like that. Why can't it just be monthly? It's not like Fujimaki is doing anything, right? Is he, Is he playing Dragon Quest alongside what's his name? Yoshihiro Togashi? Is he is he Skyping? Is he Skyping with Togashi daily? Playing Dragon Quest and I don't know whatever the Japanese equivalent of Skype is. I'm assuming it's Skype, but whatever. Well, he's like, "Hey, you having fun not writing Hunter x Hunter? Yeah, you having fun waiting 2 months to release a monthly length chapter of Kuroko no Basket Extra Game? Yeah, man, it's awesome. Yeah, not doing work is cool. Internet high five. Internet high five." I'm, I kid, sort of. Maybe not. I don't know. Uh, Fujimaki was able to do shit weekly, so couldn't he just do it monthly? I mean, at least he's giving us more than Fairy Tail Zero, which is like a chapter's length worth of stuff. And then Ice Trail, he doesn't even draw. I'm going off topic here. It was great. First chapter was good. It really got me hyped up for this game. And the second chapter was awesome. I'm stoked. I love how it started. So yeah, that's it.